What is a string in Python? A string in Python is a sequence of characters enclosed in quotation marks. Once you enclose the character in quotation mark, it is a string in Python. These quotation marks can be either single quotes or double quotes. For example, if you have the word name is a variable here, name equal to, I'm using double quotes now, John. Name equal to John. So John here is a string. John here is a string. So if I write another code line, and I have it as message, and I equate it, once I put a quote, whether single or double, it becomes a string. So here you have welcome to Python programming. Welcome to Python programming. So this is a string. So if I want to say welcome to Python programming John, so here you have the name equal to John, because John is double quotes, the name is a variable John, so the double quote is a string, John is a string, then the message welcome to Python programming is also a string because it is in quotes, either a double quote or a single quote. String can contain letters, numbers, symbols, and spaces. Python treats everything inside the quotation mark as text. So understanding how string work is essential because text data is used for many types of applications. Now, let us look at how to create strings in Python. How do you create string in Python? Here you have name equals to John, message equals to welcome to Python programming class. Now, if you run these strings, you have an output. How do you run them? The variable name is name, and the second variable is message. So how do you run it? You use a function called print to run it. So let's use print to run these two variables that we have. So let's run this first. We have the next line. So I'll just say print name. Print so that's the command, print name. Because it's a variable, here where I'm writing print name, I'm not going to quote the name because it's a variable. So I'll print. Let's go. So you can see that it has printed the name John because John is the variable that we have on name. So let's try to print message. Let's print message. We want to see the outputs that we're going to have. Print your quote message. Python is case sensitive. Python is case sensitive. What do I mean by that? It means that whatever letters you have used, whichever letter you have used above here, that's what you're going to use. For name, they are all small letters. Name, and that's what I wrote, a print name, small letter. Here, message is all small letter. So I didn't come here to write capital letter M. If I write capital letter M, this is a variable, so it shouldn't have a quote. So if I write capital letter M here, it will trigger error because the message you have above is not written as capital letter M, is written as small letter m. So let's run it. When we run this, we have the answer. Welcome to Python programming class. Welcome to Python programming. But if you have this message and let's try it out, and you have it as capital letter M, it will trigger error. It will just say, I've not seen this before. You don't have it in your system. So let's try it out. Capital letter M. Let's see what will happen. So can you see there is no output because there is no capital letter M. The message there is written as small letter m. So you can see it has triggered error. Look at the error here. Name message is not defined. So when you have this type of error, it means that the way the variable is presented, that's not what you have above. So say name message is not defined. There is nothing like message above. I have checked everything you have written. There is nothing like message above. So the message you want to write there is the one that have all small letter. But here you have mistakenly started with capital letter. So that's why it trigger error. So let's see. Let's correct that with a small letter m. So let's run it. You can see that it has run and you have welcome to Python programming. So that's how it works. That's how it works. You must take note of the letters you are writing because Python is case sensitive. So let's go to the next. So the next thing we're looking at is string indexing in Python. What's the meaning of indexing? Python allow you to access individual characters. You are bringing out one letters, one character, one number, whichever data set that you have within a string using indexing. So it's just like you have a bread, a slice of bread, and you are bringing it out one after the other. That's the way indexing look like. So each character in a string has a position and that number is called an index. The position of that particular character is an index. So you can count from the beginning. You can also do your indexing from the back. What do I mean by beginning and back? You can count from the left to the right, and you can also count from right to left. But we are going to count from left to the right. So when you're doing the indexing from the left to the right, you'll be counting from 0. So we already have this variable called name. Name equals to John. So let's do the index of this variable name equals to John. That means we want to bring out each of these character, each of the letters in this variable name. That's you have JOHN. That's what we want to bring out when we say we want to find the index of the word John. So we have, let me write it again. So we have name equal to, remember to quote it because it's a string, equal to John. Okay, we can make it all capital letter depending on what you want. So this is a variable called John. So now we want to find the index of this variable. We want to bring it out one after the other. So what do? We have name. So I like to copy it and paste in the next slide. So let's run this. Name equals to John. So you have name. Then because you want to bring out the index, you're using a square bracket. We're using a square bracket. square brackets. That's what we're using here. So you are using a square bracket name. When we write 0, it means we want to bring out the very first character, which is J. So let's run it. So you have J. So if you write name and you are putting 1, it means you are bringing out the second character, which is O. So you have name 1, that will be the next letter, which is O. So that's how it works. So I paste. I want to change the 0 to 1. Okay, so name having 1, that means you are picking the second character. The first character starts with 0 when you are doing your indexing from the left. You start from 0. So the next character is 1. So let's run it. So you can see we have O, capital letter, because we put the name in capital letter. So you pick the first one, which is the name with the index of 0. So the name with the index of 0 is J, with the index of 1 is O, and then we'll go again, we pick with the index of 2. With the index of 2, I just pasted this, so I change it to 2. With the index of 2 will give us the next letter, which is what? H. So we'll go again, I paste, and then I'm going to change what I have in it because I copied and pasted it. So with the index of 3, let's go with the index of 3. So the name with the index of 3 will now be what? It will be hen. So I want you to practice it on your own. Just write out any variable, then you do the indexing. The first index is what? You use 0. The first place holder is 0. So that will give us J. That's what we have here. The second one, which is 1, it gives us 0. The third one, which is 2, gives H, and the next one gives us N. So that's how you do indexing of a string in Python. Well done, well done, well done. Hope it was not difficult doing the indexing of each of the letters or words or numbers that I have written out or you have tried. Well done. So let's go to string slicing in Python. What does it mean to slice? Is actually that you are taking not just one character, you are taking more than one character. Sometimes you want to extract part of a string instead of a single character. Python allowed this by using string slicing. You are taking more than one character. You are taking a range of character. So we use this mainly when you are doing analysis, data analysis, and you want to view some aspect of the data set. You can use slicing. You can use string slicing to get that aspect of the data set. So how does it go? The slicing format is your start and end. Start and end. So the start means where do you start the slicing from? Then the end, it does not end at the number you put at this end. It ends a number to it, a step before it. That's where you will end it when you are doing slicing. Let's look back at the name John. So you have this name John. If you want to pick ranges from here, you know I told you that the counting starts from 0. J will be 0, the O will be 1, H will be 2, and then the N will be 3. So if we say we want to pick range and we are starting from O to 3, let's try that out now for the name John. So I'll come to the blank space and type the name John. Okay, so I type the name John. Name. So we already know that here with that name we have John. So we put our square brackets. We are not picking one. Picking one character is indexing. We are picking a range, so that's slicing. We are picking a proportion. So if I write 0, it means we are starting from the first number. We are starting from the first number. Then we have colon. Then where do you want, when we put 6, if I put 3, it means it's going to end before 3. So it will start picking the letter from the first character, which is 0, and it will end at 2. It will not pick the third one, but this is how you write the range. You write the start 0 and you add the end as 3 when you want to pick between 0 and 2. You want to pick 0 and 2. So let's run it and see what we have. For the name equals to what? John. John, John. So we want to pick the range of index from 0 to 3, but it's going to actually end at 2. So let's see it now. Okay, so it's giving name is not defined. When you see this type of error, it means that you have disconnected from the kernel a little while, so it's not having the record of name. So the best thing is to go back to where you have this name and run the code from there. If you do that, it won't trigger error again. Or you go to your kernel and you restart your kernel. So let's restart the kernel to correct that error. The kernel is loading now. So the kernel is done loading. So we can as well go back to where we have the name John. This is where we have the name John, and then you run the code from there. John, it goes to the next. It has given us the next. We go to the next. We go to the next. We go to the next. Okay, so you can see here right now that the name that we have from the name John, he gave us the first index, which is 0, that's J. We want to pick the range from 0 to 2. It's going to stop at 2. It's not going to get to these 3. But you must always take the end at the next. So you can't write to 2. If you write to 2, it's going to give you only from 0 and 1. So we write 0 to 3. So we have J as 0, O as 1, and H as 2. So that's the output that we're going to have. So this is slicing. It's slicing. So this means Python will extract characters starting from the start index, but not including that end index, which is what I've just explained here. So slicing is useful for tasks like extracting names, file extensions, other part of tests when you are running larger codes. Now let's try this on the one we have previously, which is message. So here under message is welcome to Python programming. So if I want to pick the range under message, and I want to pick the range where I want to only see the word welcome, what would the range be? So it will be W will be 0, E is 1, L is 2, C is 3, O is 4, M is 5, and E is 6. So that means I'm going to say I'm picking between the range of 0 to 7 so that I can have this word welcome. So let's do the slicing for the word message. Let's do the slicing for the word message. Okay, so let's do the slicing for the word message. So here we have message. you put your square brackets. Now I want to pick the first word, which is welcome. So we're going to start from 0, the very first letter, which is W, and we are going to have it till 7, and then you have a close. So let's run it. So you can see that we have the word welcome. We have the word welcome. So that is how you slice strings in Python. That's slicing in Python. You just make sure that you have the variable name correct, then you pick a range, because slicing is range while indexing is just one character. Okay, so I want you to pick any word of your choice, write it, and try out this. Let's see how it goes. Try it out. I want to see your feedback in the comment section. Great job, great job. I hope you are able to do the slicing and you're able to fix those words together. You're able to cut in ranges. Nice one, nice one. If you have challenges with it, you're unable to be able to slice it, please write it in the comment section so that I'll be able to help you further on it. Now let's move on. We are going to look at combining strings. How do you combine strings? How do you, we have looked at how you can extract a character in the string, how you can extract a range in the string. But now how do you bring two strings together? Okay, that's combining it. That is called string concatenation. Python allows you to combine two or more strings using the plus operator. It's a plus operator that you use to combine the strings. So, okay, this is in code, and when it is in code, it will trigger error if you don't have it commented, you don't have it as hash, So let's do that. Let's do that. Let's turn it to a comment. Okay, now I can run it and then you have it run. Why did we put hash? Hash indicates that is a comment, is not a code. So if it's not a code and you have commented it, it will allow it to run. So if you want me to do any video around comment, you can put it in the comment section so that I can create a video on comment and explain how it is for you. These strings, I left it this way because you can go to this, where you have this run section. There's a section where you can either change it to be code, you can change it to be markdown when you're making a note. So you can use markdown on this particular cell without adding this hash, and then it will run easily without having any error. That's what I use here. Can use markdown, so without commenting it, but you can also use hash to turn it to a comment. So Python allows you to combine two or more strings using the plus operator. So let's look at this. We have first name John, the last name is Falabi. The full name now means that we want to add the two names together. So we have the first name. After the first name, what do? You put the plus sign, meaning you are adding. You put the plus sign, plus what? If you need to put a code, you need to put quotes. Why do we put quotes? You put the quotes so that the quote can give space between the two names. So this quote is a space. So when I write the first name and I put a plus and I put the quote, then you add another plus. With that, you can now add the last name to it. If you don't put the quote in between to create space, it will just put the two names together without having space in between them. But when you do it like this, you will have the first name separate, and then the last name will also be separate, but the two names will come together as the full name. So with this, I run this code. This is just an information that I have given. Then you will now use the print command to bring it to action. What do we want to print? We want to print the full name. So I copy and paste exact. I don't want to type the wrong letters. So we give it a close. So let's see what the output will look like. So you have the first name and the last name together. So that is how you can combine two strings. You use the plus operator. The plus operator. If you don't want space between them, you don't need to put this quotation in between them. But if you want space between them, you put this quotation. That's why you have the outcome having space between the first name and the last name. So I would like you to quickly go ahead to your system and practice this. Practice this. Let me know in the comment section what your output looks like. Practice it quickly. Good progress so far. Well done. So let's quickly look at string formatting. So I'll change this to a markdown and then I'll run the code. String formatting. So what is string formatting? Python includes many built-in string methods that make it easier to manipulate text. We can write a text in small letter and then we want to change it to capital letter. We want to change it to uppercase from lowercase letter. So let's try out something. Let's assume we have the word text equal to Python. Let's make it Python. Text equal to Python. Now we want to change this lowercase letter to uppercase. So they are built-in method, they are built-in string method where you can have dot upper and dot lower when you are taking it to lowercase. So if you are taking this to upper, you have to use the name that I have given to it, the variable name test dot upper. So let's print test dot upper. Print. Then we have, what are we printing? Test, that's variable name, dot upper. We are printing test dot upper, that's the variable name. So what will the output be? You have Python. Python in the lowercase has been changed to the uppercase. It's changed to uppercase. So you have test.upper has changed this Python to uppercase from lowercase. So let's try it again. Now we have test. Let's move test to uppercase and then let's equate test to uppercase and then change it to lowercase. So I want to copy this to make it faster. Go to the next cell and paste it. So Python is now Python in the uppercase and we want to change it to lowercase. So we'll go print. So the same way you did dot upper, that's the same way you will do what? Dot lower. So just say dot lower. So let's see the output. So dot lower, test dot upper, and here we have test dot lower. Okay, so let's see what is the error message. Say Python is not defined. Test. So if you look at this, it trigger error and it's saying name Python is not defined. It means that you have equated this, and when you are saying is a string, you note that you are supposed to put it in quotes, either a double quote or a single quote. So let's put the quote and then run it again. Can you see it has changed the capital letter, the uppercase letter to lowercase letter Python? So that's also another way to be able to debug error. You look at, okay, why did this error occur? And you'll be able to know the exact thing to do. Well done. I'd like you to try this out on your hand. Use the upper and use the lower. There are other things, other functions that we also have, other built-in function. We can do a replace. We can replace different things from a longer text. So let's try that out now. Dot replace just stays at the word is. The word replace means you want to change something from what you have previously. So here text equals to I love Java. Print text dot replace. Wherever you see the word Java, take it out and replace it with the word Python. Say I love Java. So text dot replace replaces the word Java with the word Python. So it means go ahead, change this word up here from Java to Python. So that's what the code is saying here. So let's see the output. I love Python. I love Python. So dot replace is used when you want to replace a particular value with another value. So try that out quickly. Nice job replacing Java with Python. Let's look at the length of a string. What does it mean by length? Length basically, when you have an object, is for you to take a kind of measurement. So but in Python, it's counting. You are counting each of the character. But when it comes to len, you are not counting from 0. You are counting each of the character 1, 2, 3, and so on and so forth. So let's have the len of this test Python. Let's have the len of this test Python. So you have print. So you have print. I take it back to code. Print len of what? Of test. Print len of test. So we want to count how many characters we have in this word test above. We want to count how many characters we have in this word test above. So let's see. Python 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So print len of this word test. Let's see the results. Okay, something is missing here, the last bracket. So we have what? 6. We have 6. So counting from here, P 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we have 6. So that's how to count and get the len of any of the characters in Python programming. Python strings are very, very important. The real world uses of Python strings is so enormous. Python strings are used in many real world applications, including data analysis. We use Python strings when cleaning and analyzing test data. It's used by web developers. Web developers use strings to display information on their websites. It's used for optimizing scripts. Python strings are very, very useful and important. When you learn it, is an added advantage for you. AI systems like chatbots, they use strings to understand and respond to messages. Because strings are used everywhere, learning how to use them effectively is extremely very important. I hope you enjoy every aspect of this video on Python strings. I will be making another video on another data type in Python. Please subscribe, look out, and learn and keep learning. All the best. Bye for now. Bye.